Hey friends, it's Dwight. Welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year. I hope you guys are having a great start to the new year. So I'm doing just a little bit of a introduction before I start this video. I'm going to be working on 24 by 36 canvas. I'm going to be doing a colander pour with colors of blue, green, a little bit of champagne, which is sort of a yellowy orange with the champagne that I'm using in this pour, and of course some white. I'm sort of going for an earthy look, sort of a like a beachy look. So we'll see how that turns out today. So I just want to also let you know that I'm going to be doing another pour this weekend with a large canvas, a 30 by 40, and I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to go back to the old way of just sort of dumping the black paint and not just pouring it directly sort of in the middle as I typically do. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not quite sure of the colors yet. I'm sort of playing around with that in my head, so I'll figure that out over the next day or two. So this painting took about 2 days to complete because I had to wait for it to dry, then I had to work, and then I had to go back and just do a little bit of touch-ups. Didn't have to do a whole lot, so I may show you a little bit of that. One thing I did differently with this video was, instead of showing you the time lapse of the whole sort of how it develops, I just sort of focused on one area on the canvas so you can see how the cells or the pearls come into play and how they kind of form and sort of deepen with color, and then little extra color from some of the other colors in the pour also show up in that. Okay, so enough talking and we'll get started. Hey guys, I'm back here in my studio. It is New Year's Day. Yay, 2025. So you will probably see this in a couple days after it, only because this is gonna have to dry once I finish doing the pouring here. So I am using a repurposed 24 by 36 canvas, and this is my color palette today. Now I'll start down this end here. This is Gotta Deal brand Champagne. I've never seen champagne that color, but I use it. It's a great color. And this has Gotta Deal Phthalo Green. And this is Arteza brand. It's called Pearl Sea Green. Now, again, this is Dazzling Metallics, Deco Art, so a little bit of Artist Loft Soft Body White in it. And this is Deco Arts Americana, Desert Blue. And then I've got my white, which is Artist Loft Soft Body White. And of course, my Artist Loft Soft Body Black. Now, all these colors that go into the colander, yes, I'm going to be using a colander today, is mixed the same way. They're all mixed the same way. It's 1 part paint, 3 to 4 parts Floetrol, just a little bit of Liquitex pouring medium and some water to thin it down, get it to the right consistency. My black paint over there, however, is mixed differently. It's typically mixed 1 part paint, probably 4 to 5, sometimes even 6 parts of Floetrol. Depends how big the glass is. Drizzle a Liquitex pouring medium as well, and then water to thin. So I'm going to double check my consistencies. I want to make sure that they're all as equal as possible so they move nicely on the canvas. And we'll get started here in just a moment. Now, the first thing I'm going to tell you though, I'm not quite sure of the order. I'm thinking I'm going to go this way. I might go here, add some white, a little bit of champagne, finish this off white and champagne. I'm not really sure. So we'll see how I feel in just a few moments. And yeah, we'll see you in a second. Okay guys, here we are. Everything is prepped and ready to go. Say a little hello to everybody, start the new year. So again, I'm starting with my colander. I usually kind of feel how taut the canvas is before I put my colander down. Now, I've mentioned before that it looks like I'm sort of off center, but I'm pretty much in the center. It's just the angle of the camera. And again, started with a little bit of white, and I started layering with some of the light colors, with the light blue. And then the ice blue. I wanted to pair the colors together and not space them out so much with other colors in between. So add a little bit of white. Then I went with the champagne. I was debating whether I should pour the whole cup or just half a cup. That was a 4-ounce cup. So this green, this sage green, is really beautiful. It looks good against the yellow and against the blue. And then the dark green. Dark green, to be honest with you, often scares me. I'm not quite sure why. I like the lighter greens a little bit better. So I poured the white on top of that, sort of to lighten it up a little bit, and then I poured the rest of the champagne, that yellowy champagne, into that. Then I just sort of recycled the colors. I finished off the blue, the light blue there. And then the ice blue. Then I guess add the rest of the green. So that phthalo, actually phthalo green is a nice green because it has some blue in it. Sort of like the hunter greens and that sort of end of the spectrum are a little bit more difficult for me to work with. Okay, so all the paints are poured. I'm just letting it slowly seep out of the colander. Double checking my black paint. Sometimes paints will settle and thicken up a little bit if they sit too long, so I wanted to make sure that it was ready to go and it was the right consistency. Okay, drying off my stir stick here in just a second. Getting it out of the way. Again, just letting the paint sit and slowly move on the canvas. So if you watched my videos before, I often say that even though I'm using a colander, I'm not doing maybe an official colander pour exclusively. I just want to get the colors to come out of the holes to sort of mix and to create some very unique looking pearls and cells. And the middle doesn't really matter. I just want the paint out, because what's going to happen is when I pour the black paint on top and move it, it's just going to create more cells and more interest. So it's just sort of the process that I use. So I usually pour slightly off center, as you can see, because I'm going to be moving to the lower left corner first. It's sort of my MO. This is 2025 now, so I probably can shake it up a little bit and try different ways of tilting. So this is done in actual speed. I didn't speed it up. So I just sort of take my time, move it slowly towards the corner. So that black has covered the paint. That's sort of what I want. I bring it back a little bit, and then I take it over the upper right corner, and then we're going to go down towards the lower left there, or the upper left, I guess. So the more you stretch your paints, I believe it opens up the possibility of more pearls and more cells coming in. I believe that using the colander also sort of adds more bubbles, more air into the paints as it passes through. So in this case, in these types of pours, I do believe that air bubbles are your friend. So, I let it sit there for a little bit. Sometimes I move it around or I bang it up and down. That's just to get more bubbles out. In this case, as you can see, I'm drying my hands, and I am going to probably use my blowtorch in just a second to make sure that I pop some bubbles. So at this point, it's looking really green. I see some hints of blue coming through. I think a little bit of white around the edge there that's closest to the bottom of this frame. So now I'm going to do something different this time and just focus my camera on a segment of the canvas just to show you just sort of how the pearls develop. And you can see some of them are multicolored. Some of that champagne has also come through, and some of the white. Some of the blue has also come through in some of the other colors. It's just an interesting take instead of showing you the whole thing sort of developing. So I hope that is interesting. And so I'm going to show you the wet results in a moment, and then we will finish up this great painting. Okay guys, here we are with the dried results. I touched up in here, and all I did was just black out the edge. I didn't do anything to the cells. I just want to show you again up close some of the details. I think up close it looks really interesting. You can see how the blue, that champagne, and even the dark green. So yeah, this turned out pretty nice, guys. I'm happy. So I'm going to be doing another one, and we will get that up in a little bit. It's going to be a larger canvas at 30 by 40. Have a great start to your weekend.